Your trusted connectivity partner, Telkom Business, proudly brings you the Entrepreneurial SME Show.
Times are tough. They're even tougher for small business owners. Tonight we ask, what practical steps can entrepreneurs take to weather the storm, take advantage of the space they are in, and keep their businesses thriving? You're watching the Entrepreneurial SME. I'm Rems Mabote, and my guest is the founder of SPA 88 and Group Chief Marketing Officer from Momentum, Nontokozo Madonsela. Sawubona.
Ninjani.
Siyaphila kunjani?
Ngiyajabula
Good to see you.
ukuthi I'm here
You make
today.
it look good.
Thank you.
You know, you're a typical specimen for this conversation, right? To talk is always been that if you want to be an entrepreneur, there's no halfway. You can't be half pregnant. You either do it or you don't do it. Well, not your case, not in your case.
No, and it couldn't have been in my case. The reality is, and for most of us, is that we have a serious income dependency. So if one is going to be an entrepreneur, it's not because it's a hobby, it's not because you're bored. You've got to make money so you can feed your family and take care of yourself. And in my case, I had to do, initially, actually, I left corporate to start my business. And halfway through, I was like, there is no way I'm going to survive because I'm having to take my income from the little the business was doing, which chokes the business. And so my strategy was to get back into corporate and negotiate a contract where it would be known and declared that I'm an entrepreneur, but I would also equally invest in my corporate career so that I would not compromise my income.
And I'm going to come back to that. I love your story, but just tell us a bit about SPA 88.
Well, all of us have these dreams. Maybe you go buy, I don't know, bread, and you're like, if I could bake bread in my kitchen, I would revolutionize the bread industry.
I've done badly.
Or if I cooked steak, I would do great. Or for me, it was if I did manicures and pedicures and I was in service in terms of helping people look good, I would do everything differently. But with my primary focus being on exceptional service. So what I then did was, instead of feeling, because usually one puts their dreams off to the right time. And so my thing is, there is never a right time for a lot of things. You just have to do enough to make sure the environment allows for you to make the choice you need to make. And for me, my environment at the time was, I had had my second child, I had had a successful career in marketing, and I just couldn't kill this fire or curiosity within myself. And I made a choice then that if there's ever going to be a moment, it's going to be now. Let me not wait until I'm frustrated in my career, because a lot of people make decisions to exit out of frustration. I'm leaving them. I can be my own boss. So I didn't want to leave under those conditions, which was good. But I was also very much a glass half full person. I romanticized a lot of things. And I cared a lot about the site and the location versus about the sustainability of the business itself.
Well, the other concept we hear a lot, those who read these motivational books, they'll tell you, you know, if you follow your passion, you'll never be hungry again, you'll never ever work again. It's not necessarily true, right?
No, no.
If you left what you did in corporate and only focused in SPA 88, you probably would have had to work 3 times harder.
Like, definitely. And if you think about some services or businesses are really narrow in how you can grow your revenue. And for me, it was narrow in that you would come and have a facial. You are not looking to buy shoes. You are not looking to buy snacks. You are not looking to buy a book. You're there for one transaction, which is your facial.
Which I'm not doing every day.
Which you are not doing every day. Some days are quiet, but you've got to pay for the rent. The landlord isn't thinking, oh, SPA 88 today had half a person. None of that is considered. So for me, I think, yes, people must follow their dreams. I think it's more follow your purpose, maybe more than it is about following your dream. Because when it gets tough, the reason or your purpose is what carries you through what is tough. But the reality of your bank account must also be happy is a reality.
It was a passion for you. I do then suspect that you are not too concerned about whether there is a market for this. It's something that you wanted to do.
Listen, I was a client myself. So every time I went and did my manicure, I'm like, this could be me. Look, there's like 100 people that book here.
Yeah.
I was clear that grooming was always a need, and it continues to be.
It will always be.
It will always be a need. I mean, look how many times you've got to go, and whether it is shaving your hair or doing your pedicure, or occasionally you're like, you know what, I've had an exhausting month, I want to go for a massage.
Yeah.
So personal grooming and indulgence in the sense of your wellness is a good business. The thing I wasn't ready for is the fluctuation in that business, as well as the cost of the setup vis-a-vis the inflows that came in every day, every week, and every month. And the minimum standards in terms of REM and salaries and protocol with regards to commission, minimum orders with regards to stock. You just think, oh, I'll have product. But if you talk to the owners of those brands you want to distribute, they require, I don't know, a 200,000 Rand minimum order. So there were all of those realities that I wasn't aware of, or that I had been told, but because my dream and me fantasizing being in business was too loud in my head, I made them insignificant, only to catch up with me later on in the journey.
Going back into corporate, where you don't have necessarily a small job, right? You group CMO of a big organization, which is not even a 9-to-5 job, it's probably a 9-to-9 job, if not longer.
Yeah.
How do we keep SPA 88 alive? How do you make it practically?
Well, here's the thing, SPA 88 is no longer alive. You know, because you know why? Sometimes you need to know which balls you need to just wrap before they crack.
Yeah.
Wrap them nicely with bubble wrap and put them in a box and shift the box to somebody else who has capacity.
Yeah.
So part of what I talk about when I talk about the journeys entrepreneurs have to face is that intelligence almost and the wisdom to know when to walk away. And for me, I was going through a challenging time in my previous marriage. I had young kids to raise. I had anxiety, and literally there would be days where I just didn't have the strength to deal with client complaints, nail varnish that's been finished, the electrical bill that needs to be paid. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
However, I knew I had to focus on my corporate job, because with a corporate job is a good salary if one performs well, especially if the business is doing well.
Yeah.
And so there I had to make a choice that even though my desire is, and my ego actually wants the business to continue, the practical reality, my mental state, my parenting, my ability to even go back and create pension savings, I had stopped doing all of it. I had no life cover, you know, and so I had to make sure that I corrected for what was important in order for not only myself, but for the ecosystem that depends on me.
I want to probe you a bit more on that, but we need to take a break.
Yeah.
So please don't touch that dial. We'll be back very shortly.